Hello and welcome to Spectrum News at 4. I am Uyai Anyakan, coming to you live from the beautiful hills of Ibiako, Iran. Let's take a look at the headlines. Court remands Okorocha in EFFC custody to hear bail request tomorrow. NECO extends 2022 registrations to June 20th. Plus, Zelensky visits Ukraine's east for first time since invasion. Details of the stories and more in a moment. We'll begin with a report that the Federal High Court in Abuja has remanded a former governor of Imo State, Okorocha, in the custody of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFFC. Justice Inyako ordered his remand today following the arraignment of the former governor in court by the anti-graft agency. He also adjourned the case until tomorrow for a hearing of the bail application filed by Okorocha, who currently represents Imo West Senatorial District in the National Assembly. The former governor is being tried on a 17-count charge to the tune of 2.9 billion naira filed against him by the anti-graft agency. Recall that he was accused of conspiring with others, including a member of the APC and 5 companies, to steal from public coffers, although he has since denied any wrongdoing.
So they just waited until 24th, which was the screening day of APC, and stormed his house and seized him and took him into custody without court order of arrest warrant. And they have been keeping him. So we have applied for bail because he's entitled to bail. If he's served and he didn't appear, the court will issue a warrant for his arrest, but he was not served. And they did not even take advantage of the provision of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act, which says if you can't find the defendant, you file a motion for substitute service, the court will give you leave, you go and put it at his house. They didn't do that. We don't want to suspect their motive for what they did.
To financial crime now, where the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFFC, has arrested a former governor of Zamfara State, Abdulaziz Yari. Reports say the former governor was arrested for his alleged role in the 84 billion naira fraud involving the former Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris. According to the report, the anti-graft agency also arrested one Anthony Yaro, who is the chairman and managing director of Phoenix Professional, the company through which former Governor Yari allegedly benefited from the fund. Former Governor Yari's arrest came barely a day after he won the ticket of the All Progressives Congress APC to contest for one of the 3 senatorial district seats of Zamfara State in the National Assembly. In the meantime, detectives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFFC, says they have made startling discoveries about some transactions in the office of the Accountant General of the Federation. And it has gathered that although the AGF was initially accused of alleged 80 billion naira fraud, findings have unveiled another 90 billion naira scam. Reports say Idris, who was battling for bail, has opened up on some top government officials allegedly involved in some transactions, as the EFFC has grilled a permanent secretary in connection with some deals which he was implicated. According to the reports, the scope of the ongoing probe of the suspended Accountant General has reached 170 billion naira. In politics, ahead of the presidential primary of the All Progressives Congress APC, scheduled to take place between June 6th and June 8th, the ruling party will today commence the screening of the presidential aspirants. Reports say the ruling party has appointed the former national chairman of the party, John Oyegun, as the chairman of the presidential screening committee. Recall that 28 presidential aspirants obtained the nomination and expression of interest forms of the ruling party. However, 5 of the aspirants have pulled out, leaving 23 aspirants to slug it out for the party's tickets. Still in politics, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar has met with some of the party's presidential aspirants. Atiku met with former governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose, and the Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike, whom he defeated during the PDP's primary election on Saturday in Abuja. The meeting is said to have been a fence meeting parley between the former vice president and the PDP presidential aspirants. Recall that Atiku polled a total of 371 votes to defeat his closest challenger, Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State, who gathered 237 votes. Meanwhile, the presidential aspirant, Professor Pat Utomi, has stepped down for his co-contender, Peter Obi, for the ticket of the Labour Party ahead of the forthcoming general elections. The political economist and management expert announced that he was stepping down for the former Anambra State governor today at the party's presidential primary in Asaba, Delta State capital. In education, the National Examinations Council, NECO, has announced that it has extended the registration period of the 2022 Senior School Certificate Examination for school-based candidates to midnight of Monday, 20th June 2022. The examination agency, while disclosing this in a statement, urged state ministries of education, principals, commandants, and all stakeholders to note that there would be no further extension after that. It added that the 2022 NECO Senior School Certificate Examination will commence on the 27th of June 2022 and end on Friday, 12th August 2022. Still in education, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board says it will further screen 105 results of candidates who wrote the 2022 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, while 1,783 candidates who experienced biometric challenges were being investigated to ascertain their claims. The board, who made this available in the weekly bulletin from the Office of the Registrar, JAM, noted that it also added that 1,707,626 sat for their exercise, and results of 1,671,203 candidates have so far been released. Meanwhile, JAM said the 2022 Foreign UTME would take place in Berlin, Germany, London, UK, Jeddah, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and New York, the United States of America, in due course, as part of its international policy on test administration aimed at attracting more foreign candidates to nations' tertiary institutions, and that the policy had been yielding positive results. On a sad note, the prelate of the Methodist Church Nigeria, His Eminence Samuel Kanu Uche, has reportedly been kidnapped along Enugu-Port Harcourt Expressway in Umuonochi local government area of Abia State. Reports say the kidnappers took him alongside Right Reverend Dennis Mark, the Methodist Bishop of Owerri, and the prelate's chaplain. It was revealed that the clergymen were kidnapped in the afternoon while they were on their way back from a program in the council area. Meanwhile, the police public relations officer in Abia, SP Geoffrey Ogbonna, who confirmed the incident, said it was quite unfortunate, adding that efforts are on top gear toward his rescue as well as other priests with him. In the meantime, the Christian Association of Nigeria in Taraba State has condemned a viral video on social media where an Islamic cleric was heard urging Muslims in the state to stand up and take over political power. In a statement issued in Jalingo and signed by the state CAN chairman, Reverend Isaiah Magaji, the Christian body said it viewed the several videos being shared on the social media as calculated plots to set the stage on fire by outside forces that are not happy with the peace Taraba is enjoying. JRPA in the statement noted that the state has a long-standing history of religious tolerance and peaceful coexistence between Christians and Muslims. The statement called on intelligence agencies and the federal government to expedite actions and apprehend and prosecute the individuals in the video before they throw Taraba State and Nigeria into an avoidable mishap. Away from that, former governor of Kebbi State, Senator Adamu Aliero, has withdrawn from the senatorial contest in the state and dumped the All Progressives Congress for the People's Democratic Party with immediate effect. The senator, who represents Kebbi North Senatorial District at the National Assembly, stated this in an open letter written to the leadership of the party, citing underhand dealings on the delegates list by the governor. Still on politics, leaders in the southern and central regions of the country, under the auspices of the Southern and Middle Belt Leaders Forum, have faulted the People's Democratic Party (PDP) for electing a northern presidential candidate in the 2023 general elections. They described the outcome of the exercise as an affront to the people of the South and asked politicians in the region to reject any nomination for the office of the Vice President. In a communique jointly signed by leaders of the groups that made up the forum, they specifically faulted the emergence of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar as the main opposition party's flag bearer. The SNDLF, however, urged presidential hopefuls in the South to shun the attitude of individualism and self-confidence and work collectively to achieve the shared objective of producing President Muhammadu Buhari's successor in the forthcoming elections. In Lagos State, the government has partnered Finland to boost its comprehensive schools. Reports say the comprehensive schools program was launched last year as Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu conceived the partnership. Meanwhile, select teachers and coordinators were sent on a 2-week training at the Temepere University Applied Sciences in Finland in partnership with Finland. The program, which began on April 18, ended on May 1st. The aim was reportedly to pick up methodologies and strategies to be incorporated into the comprehensive schools program for best results. Back here, the family of late Mr. Benedict Usoro gathered over the weekend in a ceremony officiated by the Apostolic Church Nigeria, Township District, Ikorekpene area to celebrate the life and times of their father, brother, and uncle. An elder statesman in his rights, the community and people from all walks of life turned out in their number to bid him farewell. Our correspondent brings the rest of the report. Mr. Pius Benedict Usoro, a man referred to by all as a Tayflower and Owemem, was gracefully put to rest on the 28th of May, with his immediate family and children painting a great color to his life and the farewell event. Late Benedict was epitomized for his responsiveness to responsibility, living an exemplary life and deliberately investing in the lives of all those he came across. A man who is said to have great value for family life and education. The officiating minister of the Apostolic Church Nigeria, in his message, encouraged the family to hold firm to God, righteousness, and the tenet of brotherhood the late Usoro upheld and forge ahead as a united family. Born in 1947, it can be said that late Pius Usoro lived his time well on earth. Speaking with Spectrum Television, family and attendees shared their farewell messages.
This is my dad's funeral, and as you can see, he was very loved by everybody, and he instilled the importance of education on us, and we are very, very sad that he has passed on.
We miss our father, but we are happy that we are celebrating him today. He was a great and kind man. Rest in peace, Daddy.
We are so pleased to be here to celebrate the life of my dad. It's been a blessing because I would say he lived a good life.
It's a sad situation that my oldest friend has left me behind. But all of us will meet again by God's grace.
For Spectrum Television, I am Uyai Anekan. Mr. Pius, in a separate development, Akwa Ibom State Governor Dom Emmanuel has congratulated the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar on his emergence as the 2023 presidential. Their doggedness, maturity, and the sense of sacrifice and patriotism demonstrated throughout the times before, during, and after the. According to the governor, they ran the race like brothers and had agreed from the onset that the challenge before the country, which the PDP must solve, is the challenge to rescue and to restore Nigeria. Noting that they also agreed that the victory of the winner at the presidential primaries will be a victory for all. Governor Emmanuel therefore expressed optimism that Atiku has the capacity to rescue the country from the pangs of insecurity, economic gloom, and disunity. He urged all the party members and Nigerians to rally support for the emergence of Atiku Abubakar as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria come 2023. In Africa, lawmakers in the Central African Republic voted last Friday to abolish the death penalty as the law was passed by acclamation as the Speaker of the National Assembly made the announcement. Reports say for the legislation to become law, President Faustin Chaldera still has to issue it. Meanwhile, rights group Amnesty International have welcomed the announcement as good news and urged him to do so. The last official execution in the Central African Republic allegedly took place in 1981. Still in Africa, Sudan's leading general has lifted a state of emergency that was imposed in the country following the October coup he led. The decision by General Abdel Fattah, head of Sudan's ruling Sovereign Council, came hours after the Security and Defense Council, Sudan's highest body that decides on security matters, suggested that it be lifted. Meanwhile, rescuers in Nepal have so far recovered 14 bodies from the crash site of a small plane carrying 22 people. Reports say the wreckage of the plane operated by Nepali carrier Tara Air was recovered in Mustang district in northern Nepal. The passenger plane was on a 20-minute flight when it lost contact with air traffic control 5 minutes before it was due to land. Meanwhile, the search is ongoing for the remaining passengers. On the foreign scene, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has visited the country's war-ridden east for the first time since the Russian invasion. He met with troops on a trip to Kharkiv, wearing a bulletproof vest and being shown heavily destroyed buildings in the city and its surroundings. Meanwhile, Moscow has allegedly retreated from the Kharkiv region in recent weeks. Still to come in the news. Djokovic braced to deliver Nadal hammer blow at French Open. Do stay with us. Much thanks for staying tuned. On our business news, the country's external reserves has hit a 7-month low after falling to $38.57 billion as of May 25, 2022. Findings have shown that the continuous decline in the country's external reserves used to defend the naira value is making the banks tighten access to foreign exchange to travelers and other legitimate users as scarcity bites harder. According to figures obtained from the CBN on movement in external reserves, the reserves, which had been fluctuating for weeks now, experienced its lowest of $39.01 billion and $38.39 billion on October 10th and 8th, 2021 respectively. Reports say the banks have also been reducing the amount a customer can spend on the cards in dollar terms. Meanwhile, following the increasing effect of climate change and the level of unemployment in the country, entrepreneurship. Speaking during the training, the Director General of NDE, Abubakar Fikpo, said the program was under the Special Public Works Department and was geared towards solving environmental problems and reducing the rate of joblessness. He revealed that the training would last for 3 months, with each participant earning 10,000 naira per month to enable them to visit waste sites to collect materials for recycling. To Health Now, where the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has disclosed that 3 herbal formulations were approved for clinical trial studies for the treatment of COVID-19 during the pandemic. It denounced the claims of the efficacy of IHP Detox Tea for the cure of COVID-19 patients, purportedly made by the Chief Executive Officer of Bioresources Development and Conservative Program, Professor Maurice Iwu, in a media report. The Director General of NAFDAC, Professor Mijosola Adeyeye, in a statement signed by the agency's president, media consultant Sayo Akintola, in Abuja, said only NAFDAC could make pronouncements on the quality, safety, and efficacy of all regulated products that showed satisfactory scientific evidence. The NAFDAC board explained that 3 herbal formulations were approved for clinical trial studies during the COVID-19 pandemic. Still in health, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, has said that no fewer than 66 suspected cases of monkeypox disease have been reported in Nigeria. The NCDC disclosed this in its latest monkey. Only a single death had so far been reported. In sports, Alvin Bassey is Nigeria's hottest football prospect at the moment, perhaps only behind Napoli striker Victor Osimhen, who's caught the attention of some Europe's biggest club sides. After an amazing season with the Italian side, the Glasgow Rangers defender has since this season grown into an important player for Giovanni Van, not only playing his side traditional left-back role, but also in central defense. A mainstay in the J squad, Bassey put in a masterclass of a performance on May 18th in Sevilla in the Europa Cup final defeat to Eintracht Frankfurt, with top sides including English giants Chelsea reportedly tracking him. Frankfurt won the tie on penalties after a 1-1 stalemate after 120 minutes of nerve-wracking football, with the Germans goalkeeper Kevin Trapp officially named man of the match, but Bassey got many votes after a sterling display. Still in sports, Novak Djokovic renews his epic 16-year rivalry with Rafael Nadal at the French Open, with the semi-final spot at stake and where victory could end the 13-time champion's Roland Garros career. Nadal, who will turn 36 on Friday, put his record of 109 wins and just 3 losses in Paris since his title-winning debut in 2005. On the line against the defending champion, reports say the Spaniard was taken to 5 sets for only the 3rd time in his tournament history by 21-year-old Felix Auger in the 4th round. In the immediate aftermath of that victory, Nadal admitted that not only was this year's French Open at stake for him, but possibly his entire playing future. On our entertainment news, the African Union Commission, in partnership with International Committee of All Africa Music Awards, AFRIMA, has formally unveiled the calendar of events for the 2022 annual edition of the award ceremony. Speaking on behalf of the African Union Director for Social Development, Culture and Sports, Health, Humanitarian Affairs and Social Development, Cs. Mariama Mohammed, said Africa remains resilient and progressive in everything, and this is why the entertainment sector has continued to make such huge leaps globally. Reports say the AFRIMA calendar for the years begins with the entries of submission, which starts today, Monday, May 30th, and closes on Friday, August 5th, 2022. Still on entertainment, veteran actor and lawyer Kanayo O. Kanayo has celebrated his 60th birthday at the Motion Center on Nikon, Lagos, in an all-white party. Family, friends, and associates of the actor turned out in their numbers to felicitate him, with people coming from all walks of life. Appreciating God for sparing his life to witness the day, the actor also thanked his family and friends for the support they have given him over the years. have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, SpectrumTV.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News at 4. I am Uyai Aneke. Thanks for watching and do enjoy the rest of your day.